According to attendees of the briefing, no Secret Service or other federal law enforcement is present for this briefing. Secret Service had not initially intended to provide sniper units, but changed course for currently unclear reasons. The briefing included an outline of the security perimeter for the event and areas of responsibility, or AORs. At 9:27 a.m., concurrent, Thomas Matthew Crooks, the alleged shooter, enters a Home Depot located in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. CCTV footage shows the shooter entering alone. A couple minutes later, he purchases a 5-foot aluminum dual platform ladder. That's the only time we see the ladder, by the way, Tucker, in this timeline. The ladder disappears after this. 9:42, he leaves. They identify him. 10:30, snipers are in position. And this is interesting.
Can I just ask, so that morning, Crooks buys the ladder.
Yes.
So that suggests he's already figured out exactly what he's going to do.
He's got an idea.
Interesting. Okay.
So the ladder's in place. 10:30 a.m., 2 local law enforcement snipers are in position on the second floor inside the AGR building, the American Glass Research Building. So they don't go to the roof of this building. They go inside the second floor. They sit there. They're looking out the windows, but they never actually go to the roof or apparently to the back of the building to see where this guy came up. 5:10 p.m., Crooks is first observed by one of the snipers, AGR Sniper 1, at the AGR building. And he takes the picture below of Crooks. Not long after that, and I'll show you these in a second, they can put up, AGR Sniper 1 takes a picture below of a bicycle and what appears to be 2 bags located near the AGR building. It is unclear what happened to the bicycle and bags after July 13th, 2024. And take a look at that.
So they're saying that Crooks rode a bicycle to the event?
There's a van that's later found outside the event in sort of the parking area that's about a mile distance from this AGR building. That is Crooks's van. That van is, we're told, contains explosives, homemade explosives, and explosives that are connected to a remote controlled detonator, which is later found on Crooks's body. So the idea being then, if this bicycle is indeed his, parks the van, gets into the bicycle, carries his rifle, slings it on, you could see the bags in the photo, rides the bicycle from where the van is, that mile distance, to the back of this building.
Okay, so then I'm getting to the next part. I'm sorry to take this from
And
you.
actually, I'm just realizing that I don't believe in the senator's timeline that they have the drone.
What drone?
Crooks's drone. Unless I'm missing it.
He has a drone too?
It's now been reported that he, at some point prior to 5:10, so around 3 in the afternoon or so, when things are still getting prepared, he's there with a drone flying a flight pattern around the area of the Butler Farm grounds.
That's insane. You can't, I mean, I just know from living in DC, you can't just operate drones around law enforcement. It freaks them out.
No, or Don Jr. told me, and I think he said in one of his recent interviews, that when his father was at his house for like an event, like a family event and a party, that he wanted to put up one of his drones, and the software wouldn't allow the drone to even take off because a Secret Service detailee was in the vicinity. My cousin was getting married in southern Pennsylvania, which is pretty close to where Wilmington is, and she wanted to have a drone up at her wedding. And because Biden happened to be in Wilmington at that point, she's within that 30-mile radius. You know, the photographers come to her and say, "Hey, we can't do any drones here."
This is crazy, and it's also sophisticated. So the guy's got. It seems like he's got a van, explosives, a bicycle, a rifle,
a drone,
a ladder, a drone,
a rangefinder.
A rangefinder. I'm going to ask you about that in a second. And the guy knew this was coming. This wasn't a spur of the moment thing. He's buying the ladder that morning. And he's making a shot that everyone is sort of, I know everyone's like, oh, it's not 140 yards, not that far. I think it was 140 yards.
It's a boot camp shot.
Yeah, boot camp shot. Still, I don't know. I fired that rifle yesterday. You know, you kind of have to.
With no scope.
He had no scope?
No scope, iron rails.
Are you sure?
Yes.
He used iron sights to hit someone.
He used iron sights.
In the face at 140 yards.
My take on that, and just my assessment, was that he knew that because he was lying prone, he knew that a scope or an EOTech or something would present more of a picture to any counter snipers. So if you wanted to stay lower, if you wanted to stay more out of sight, and he's using the angle of the building to conceal himself, that you wouldn't want something.
Okay, I'm calling bullshit on this whole thing. I'm trying not to use swear words. Excuse me. This is not plausible. This kid's a 20-year-old, much bullied, socially awkward, weird kid who washes out of the rifle team because he can't shoot. He's got no social media profile. His search history suggests no research into any of this, and he sounds way too sophisticated.
And the videos that they're not talking about are the fact that he appears in this like BlackRock ad